Hi, my name is Henry Vernov. I'm a product manager for healthcare vertical at Citrix.
Hi, I'm Michelle Leafleur. I am the Vice President for Health Information Technology Services and the CIO here at Hamilton Health Sciences.
Speaking with customers of following industry trends, healthcare is usually a couple of years behind financial services. And financial services, again, it's very paranoid about having data on endpoint devices, having no applications on the endpoint devices, enabling digital experiences for the user, self-service. So I'm seeing healthcare is actually catching up to the same train ride as financial services did years ago. Again, you talk about Epic being your EHR vendor, and one of their, again, I think, you know, patient applications that provide a lot of value is MyChart, patient portal, right? Having something as simple as patient portal being available to your patients is critical to enabling continuous, simple patient care, right? It also helps kind of offload some of the work from the back office, from your nurses, that they can just self-service them and get all the required information on the spot. So
Yeah, MyChart is a key part of our strategy. We just actually had a MyChart retreat last week with a whole number of patients at the table, with a whole number of clinical providers. Really understand. Well, it's an excellent tool. We want to hear from our patients what they're comfortable with, where they would like us to go directionally, because there's a lot of opportunity. And we had a very diverse group of patients who were brought great perspectives. It's a joy to watch them when they're interacting with our teams. But it's key in a few ways. And you touched on them. The more that we can empower our patients with MyChart and other technologies to do things and interact and own their healthcare, that helps us with our shortages of our health human resources in certain areas. We can alleviate blockages and pain points by having the patients own control of things that are typically controlled by others within the organization. So a lot of opportunity and just growing. It's gone well beyond, I just want access to my EHR, which is key. But how do I communicate with you in a different way? How do I own my own control of my schedule? These things sound simple. Like in other facets of my life, I do everything online. To your point, healthcare is a little slow and lagging, but MyChart's really enabling us to really service our patients well, empower them to own their own journeys. It is their health information in the end, and while they're doing that, support our shortage of resources internally. So a really key important tool, and we're super excited for the direction.
yeah, I see a lot of customers actually working with their Citrix counterparts to secure the delivery of MyChart and other web-facing applications. Because as simple as it sounds, hey, it's a web app. There's a lot that has to be put in place to protect the application and make sure it's resilient to be accessible all the time, to provide that value that you just mentioned.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Partnering with partners, and now our patients are part of that partner conversation. So we have to make sure that it's easy and secure for everyone. And that's why we work with folks like yourselves and other of our strategic partners. But it's really, I'm passionate about the patient and MyChart topic. So it is really invigorating for the IT teams and the other operational folks that we had at our retreat to listen to patients as to what they want. Teams do a great job providing care, but do we actually getting that other perspective so they can tell you what works well or what might not work well, what the concerns are? It's a part of the healthcare industry that's super empowering, invigorating, I guess is the right word for our teams, because ultimately that's why we're here, right? For our patients and giving them a better experience and hopefully better outcomes.
So from personal experience, I just had a family member in a hospital last month, and that hospital had MyChart, And so the family was able to very quickly get access to the information, get in contact with the staff, and get answers pretty rapidly or quickly, and be able to make a decision. And then sometime afterwards, we were in a different scenario where that technology wasn't available, kind of in hospital of a different quality. So you can definitely start seeing the impact of technology and how it impacts patient care and kind of ownership of the decision. And so definitely, power of the technology cannot be understated as long as people use it.
Yeah, I'm a convert in that department for sure. As a patient myself with 3 MyChart accounts, it's just making my life a lot easier to manage any of my own health issues. And I have 2 aging parents, so with the right appropriate security provisions and proxy access to their stuff, you can really, as a family unit, become part of your own care team. So totally echo everything that you just said for sure.
Yeah.